Hello friends and welcome back. Today we are performing experiment on Norton's theorem. Okay, so in order to verify this theorem I am using this circuit. Okay, so this is a simple T network. You can see this over here. So we are using basically three resistances R1, R2 and R3. Okay, and what we will do, we will measure the current flowing through R3. So that current we are calling as load current, means we are considering R3 is acting as a load resistance. Okay, so far as these values are considered, we are using this experimental setup. Okay, so we have made a board like this. Okay, you can see over here, and from the bottom side you can see I have made the connections. Okay, so from the top side it will look like this. So here we are having R1, R2 and R3, three resistances. Okay, and by using this board you can measure current flowing through any resistance. So for R1 we can connect ammeter in between these 2 points. For R3 we can connect ammeter here. For R2 we can connect ammeter over here. Okay, and similarly we can connect at a time, we can connect 2 voltage supply. At a time we can connect 2 voltage supply V1 and V2 in between these 2 points. Okay, and this is your ground node. Okay, and if suppose you do not want to use any ammeter or voltmeter, in that case what you have to do, just you have to connect a short circuit between the respective 2 points. Okay, so in this way this same board can be connected in multiple ways. Okay, so this was about our board. Okay, and now this is our DC regulated power supply. So it is a dual channel power supply. Okay, at a time we can use 2 voltage supplies over here. Okay, so I am using this power supply, so it is in voltage mode, and by using this course button I have set this voltage to 10 volt. Okay, because according to our circuit diagram our supply voltage is 10 volt and we are using only single voltage. Okay, and that voltage we will apply over here. Okay, so we are not using this voltage, hence we will short these 2 terminals. Okay, so let us start with the connections. So if you look at the circuit diagram, what you can see, voltage is connected to R1. R1 is simultaneously connected to R3 and R2. R2 is connected back to the supply. R3, we want to measure current flowing through this, so we are connecting R3 to this positive of this milliammeter, and then milliammeter negative is connected to the ground line. Okay, so let us start the connections. So first what we will do, we will take positive from the power supply. We have already set this voltage to 10 volts, so we are connecting positive and negative wire over here. Okay, so what I will do, so first of all I will turn off this power supply. While doing the connection your power supply should be off. Now what I am doing, I am connecting this voltage in between these 2 points. Okay, so what happens, this 10 volt will get applied over here. Okay, then we do not want to measure current flowing through R1 and R2, so we are shorting these 2 terminals. We are not using any ammeters over here, so just I am connecting short circuits like this. Okay, so these 2 ammeters are shorted because we are not using those ammeters. Okay, now what is remaining, we are not using this voltage source, second voltage source. Okay, so again we will short these 2 terminals. Okay, so the meters which we are not using, we have to short those terminals. Okay, and now what is remaining, current I3, that is nothing but your load current. So for that purpose we are using this multimeter as a ammeter. So what I am doing, I am selecting milliampere range over here. Okay, and I am connecting this positive wire in milliampere. Okay, so now this meter is set up as ammeter. Okay, now what I will do, I will connect the positive of this ammeter to this point and negative of the ammeter is connected to the second point. So in this way your connections are now over. Okay, now what you have to do, just you have to turn on this power supply. As soon as you turn on this power supply, what happens, you will get some reading on this ammeter, that is nothing but the current flowing through this resistance R3. Okay, and we have already measured this resistance values by using ohm meter. Okay, so these values are 973 ohm then 2171 ohm and 1982 ohm. Okay, so I will turn on this power supply. So as soon as I turn on this power supply, what happens? Current starts to flow through this circuit, and now we are getting some current through this resistance R3, and that current is visible on this milliammeter. So what you are getting? 2.60 milliampere. So we will note down this value. This is nothing but your load current. Okay. So friends, we have noted down this value 2.60 milliampere. Okay. Now we have to verify and we have to find this value using Norton's theorem. So for Norton's theorem, you need two parameters: short circuit current, also known as Norton current, and Norton's resistance, which is also known as Thevenin's resistance. So friends, we have measured this load current, okay, by using this multimeter. Okay. Now our next task is to measure the short circuit current. Now what is the process? For that purpose, you have to short this resistance R3, load resistance you have to short. So what basically we will do, we will connect the positive of ammeter at this point. So on the kit you can see that positive of ammeter is already connected to this point. Okay, and what is the next task you have to do? You have to connect the negative point to the ground line. Okay, so what I will do, I will remove this resistance and I will directly connect the negative point of ammeter to the ground line. Okay, so what happens? This resistance will get bypassed. Okay, now I will turn on the kit, and as soon as I turn on the kit, you will get some value. Okay, so what value you are getting? 10.26 milliampere. Okay, so I will note down this value. I already noted down this value, so this value is slightly fluctuating. So we are noting down this value. So 10.30 milliampere approximately you are getting. Okay, now next we have to measure Norton's resistance or Thevenin's resistance. So while measuring Thevenin's resistance, what you have to do? You have to turn off the power supply and you have to short the voltage source. Okay, so whatever energy sources are present, you have to short the voltage source. Now our next task is to measure the value of Norton's resistance, also known as Thevenin's resistance. So now what I am doing, I am using this another multimeter. It is set in ohm range, so this will measure the value of resistance. Okay, now we have already measured this current, so we are disconnecting this ammeter. Okay, and now what I will do, I will remove the ammeter, and in between those 2 points, okay, I will measure the resistance. So what you are getting? 0.67 kilo ohm. Okay, so we will note down this value. So what I have done over here, according to the diagram, what you have to do, you have to remove the resistance. Okay, you have to remove the ammeter. Okay, and voltage we are not using. So what we are doing, we are connecting ohm meter in between this point and ground node. So this is your ground node, and this point is connected to this ammeter positive. Okay, so we will measure the resistance between these. So we will get 672 ohms. Okay, so this is nothing but your Norton's resistance. We will note down this value. So we have noted this value. So this is about demonstration part. Now we will do the calculations and then we will verify our result with the experimental results. So friends, we have already done the demonstration part. Okay, so we are measuring the current flowing through this resistance R3 using Norton's theorem. Okay, practically we have already measured the current and the value was 2.60 milliampere. Okay, now we have to calculate the same value by applying Norton's theorem. Okay, and you know that for applying Norton's theorem, we have to calculate two values. Short circuit current, also known as Norton current, and Norton's resistance, also known as Thevenin's resistance. So practically we have already measured those values. Okay, now we will do the calculations and we will verify our calculated results with experimental results. Okay, so in order to apply Norton's theorem, we have to apply a couple of steps. So your first step is calculation of short circuit current. Okay, So we will write ISC, which is also known as Norton's current. So this is your first step. Okay. So for applying this, what you have to do in this step, what you have to do, you have to remove this resistance and you have to replace this resistance with short circuit. So your equivalent circuit will be like this. So friends, your circuit will be like this. Here you are having 10 volt plus and minus. Okay, then 973 ohm. This is your resistance R1. Okay, then 2171 ohm. This is your resistance R2. And since you are measuring the current flowing through this resistance, now what we have to do, we have to replace that resistance with short circuit. Okay, so we are shorting that resistance. Okay, so whatever current flowing through this resistance, that current is known as short circuit current or Norton's current. Okay, now what you have to remember over here, in parallel with this resistance, what you are having short circuit. Okay, so what happens whenever current comes at this point, what happens, no current will pass through this 2171 resistance, complete current will pass through this short circuit. Okay, so we can remove this resistance, because since no current is flowing through this branch becomes idle. Okay, so we can remove this branch. So your equivalent circuit will be like this. So your circuit will contain only 10 volt, okay, plus and minus, and this is your resistance R1, which is 973 ohm. Okay, and now what happened, this 2171 resistance, no current is passing through this resistance, so we have removed this branch. Okay, so only thing remaining in your circuit is this short circuit. Okay, so current flowing through this branch is nothing but short circuit current. Okay, now we have to calculate this current. So what is the value of ISC? So according to Ohm's law, I is equal to what? V upon R. Okay, so what is the voltage you are applying over here? 10 volt you are applying, right? And what is the resistance in your circuit? Your resistance is, only resistance remaining in your circuit is R1. Okay, so we will put the values. Okay, and we will get the answer. So calculate this, you will get 10.27 milliampere. Okay, so friend, you know that short circuit current is nothing but your Norton's current. Okay, so Norton current value is 10.27 milliampere. Now this is calculated value. So check this value with the experimental value. So during experiment, what you have got? 10.34 milliampere, and now we are getting 10.27 milliampere. So you can verify that these two values are approximately same. So this indicates that our experiment is correct. Okay, so one of the factor means ISC is verified. Now next we have to calculate Norton's resistance, or also known as Thevenin's resistance. Okay, so friends, to calculate Thevenin's resistance or Norton's resistance, what we are doing, we are again opening this. Okay, we have replaced R3 with short circuit. Now again we are removing the short circuit, and in between these 2 points we will measure the Thevenin's resistance or Norton's resistance. Okay, so friends, your next step is calculation of RN or RTH. Now what we are doing, we are using the above same diagram. Okay, and here initially we have connected short circuit. Now instead of short circuit, now what we are doing, we are measuring the resistance in between these 2 points. Okay, so whatever equivalent resistance you are getting in between these 2 points, it is nothing but your Norton's resistance. Okay, so while doing this, what you have to do, you have to reduce all the energy sources to zero value. Okay, so we will short this voltage source. Okay, so one thing you have to remember while calculating Norton's resistance, if you are having current source, okay, current source, you have to replace it with open circuit. Okay, and if you are having voltage source, then you have to replace it with short circuit. Okay, so since we are having voltage source, we will short this voltage source and then we will calculate this resistance. Okay, so friends, now you can see that we are replacing this voltage source with short circuit. Okay, so from this diagram, what is the value of RN you are getting? So if you look at this, what you are getting, this 973 ohm and this 2171 ohm, now they are in parallel. Okay, so what is the RN you are getting? 973 means R1, resistance R1, and 2171 is nothing but your resistance R2. So these two are in parallel. Okay, so what you are getting, R1 multiplied by R2, okay, divided by their addition. So this is the formula for parallel resistances. So put the values and calculate the answer. What you are getting, Rn is equal to So you will get 671.87 ohm. So friend, this is now your calculated result. Compare this with experimental result. What you are getting, experimental value was 672 ohm and this is approximately 672 ohm. So this indicates that our experiment is correct. Okay. So now we have verified resistance, we have verified the Norton's current. Now what is remaining? What is the value of load current? We have already measured this value. Now we have to calculate this value. Okay. So for calculating load resistance, we have to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. Okay. So friend, this is your Norton's equivalent circuit. So it consists of a Norton current. Okay. So what is the value we have got? 10.27 milliampere. Okay. So this was your Norton current. Okay. And what is the Rn you have got? So your Rn is approximately 672 ohm. Okay. Or 671.87 ohm. Okay. So this is your Rn. Now what is remaining? So whatever resistance we have removed, load resistance we have removed, now what we have to do? We have to reconnect that resistance. Okay. So what was your load resistance? So this 1982 means resistance R3 was your load resistance. Now what we will do? We will reconnect that resistance in between the open points. So friends, we have reconnected this resistance and whatever current flowing through this, now we are considering this resistance as load resistance. So current flowing through this resistance will be your load current. Okay. So now we have to calculate the value of this IL. So if you look at this circuit, what you will find out, the current IN is coming up to this point. Now it is getting divided in between two parts, Rn and R3. Okay. So what we can do here, we have to apply current divider rule. Okay. So we will apply current divider rule like this. Okay. Now what does this current divider rule indicates? This rule tells that the current at this point will get divided in between two parts. Some current will flow in downward direction, some current will flow towards this load resistance. Okay. So according to this rule, what is your load current then? Your load current is equal to what? Now IL is flowing through R3. Okay. So we have to skip that resistance. What is the another resistance? Rn upon total resistance. So what is your total resistance? Norton resistance and load resistance. Load resistance is nothing but this resistance R3. Okay, and this should be multiplied by total current. So what is the total current you are having? Norton's current. Okay, now put these values. What you are getting? This RL is nothing but your resistance R3. Okay, so put the values. So we have inserted the values and now we are getting the value of IL. So this value comes out to be 2.60 milliampere. So this is the load current you are getting after doing the calculations. Now we will verify this value with our experimental result. So friends, 2.60 milliampere was your calculated value. Okay, and if you look at this experimental value, you can see that we are getting the same value over here. Okay, so this verifies our Norton's theorem, means we can apply Norton's theorem to calculate current flowing through any branch of the network. Okay, so we have verified that our experimental result and our theoretical results are almost similar. Okay, so in this way we have verified the Norton's theorem. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you are having any doubts, you can ask the questions in comment box. And if you really like this video, please press the like button and share this channel with your friends. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.